right, let's call to order the work session for the Cochise County Board of Supervisors. We're meeting in the Supervisors Hearing Room in Melody Lane. Pursuant to ARS 38431.02H, the public will have access to the meeting room 15 minutes prior to the start of the meeting. Any item on this agenda is open for discussion. Members of the board may attend in person or by Microsoft Teams. Members of the public may also attend via Microsoft Teams or the mobile app. Work sessions are a time for county staff to inform and discuss agenda items with the Board of Supervisors, and public comments will not be taken. And we will begin with a roll call.
Crosby's here.
District 1, Crosby's present. District 2, Ms. Gomez is absent but on official business. District 3, Antonori is here. So we have 2 supervisors present, 1 absent. And we will begin. Today's agenda is talking about the Housing Authority budget, but we will go to Ms. Gilman to kick us off.
Yes, so the Housing Authority is, I call it quasi-county, because all of the funding comes from the federal government, and the county serves as the sponsoring organization, if you will. Anita Baca has been with us for a number of years. She's brought the Housing Authority around needed a vast improvement from how she found it. And so she's here to talk about the budget and some of the challenges as well related to funding from the federal government.
The grant situation?
Yeah.
Yes, still no official word on that, but we've got some things, some proposed, some approved. So, and it's not looking as dire as it might have been. So
I just saw the budget announcement for the Department of Health and Human Services. Is that under the housing, fall under Health and Human Services?
No, we're funded by Housing and Urban Development.
Housing, oh, that's right.
Yes.
Health and Human Services, $40 billion cut or something is what they predicted.
We just received an email because I've been taking referrals conservatively through our HOPWA program so that we wouldn't have to kick any of the tenants out of the tenant-based rental assistance program. And if need be, I can just change line items to keep them whole with rental assistance. And we just got word today that HRSA has approved the continuation of Ryan White, where we get our referrals from. So that's all
good news.
Yeah, that is good news.
Well, all those jobs come back. You get people lose jobs, then they won't need housing assistance.
That's true. That's true.
Well,
And that's our ultimate goal, right?
Yeah, ultimately
Yes.
we can get them to Cochise County.
Exactly. So essentially, the majority of our programs are vouchers. And again, they're funded by HUD, both through for our HOPWA program and our voucher program, which consists of Section 8, emergency housing vouchers, special purpose vouchers, and HUD-VASH.
So is all this the Section 8 funding? Is that what they call that?
Yes. So for our voucher funding for those programs, it's $4,992,610. And for tenant-based rental assistance, which I just touched on, which is kind of a Section 8 lookalike under the HOPWA program. And HOPWA stands for Housing Opportunity for Persons with AIDS. And that one is a renewable grant. The voucher programs are under an annual contributions contract. So it's literally our, excuse me, our funding. I'm sorry, I always get hoarse when I'm in a meeting. Our funding is approved by Congress each year and determined by the federal budget. So we are looking at our overall for programs being at 5.120764 for our rental assistance programs. So with our overall income is projected to be $626,797 for our administrative budget, and for housing opportunity for persons with AIDS, it's estimated to be $70,653, totaling $697,450. So the breakdown for my budget this year is $526,131 for salaries, $19,000 for training, $14,000 for supplies, $70,540 for services, and our portability admin, which means if one of our existing tenants wants to move to another jurisdiction, it's called portability, which means if that housing authority is not absorbing that voucher and they're billing us, then we have to pay that housing authority administrative fees to administer that voucher. So that's a total of $632,921, leaving us in a deficit of $6,124 for this estimated year budget.
And what's the plan to make that up?
So we do have a contingency for things just for matters such as this. So, but we can cut. I don't like to cut in training unless I absolutely have to, but we can certainly cut in training. And that would probably be where I take the majority out of, would be the training. And the reason our training is, and I go into a little bit more detail on the next slide regarding the breakdown of these line items, but and kind of breaking down what how our budget falls into each one of these categories. And the reason our training is so expensive is because the majority of it is out of state. So we have to pay the per diem.
Is it in DC?
Some of it is in DC. Most of the conferences are in DC. But we have, since our programs are so specialized, there are training facilities that specialize in HUD-related rental assistance trainings.
Ms. Walker, what type of items are in services?
Okay, so in services, we'll go to the next slide. So in services, we have the audit. We have, and that's a typo on my part, I apologize. It should be accounting, not account. And in our accounting and our software, we have a third-party accountant that not only does our books for us, but they also reconcile for us each month, and they're outside of our department. So it's another set of eyes looking at our books every single month.
Okay, so that's the budget for that service for a year.
Yes. And our software includes, I mean, it's literally our heartbeat. Every single tenant is in our software. We've recently switched our housing quality standards inspections to being able to do them on a tablet. So when we go out, that inspection speaks to the copier and automatically prints out the reports that we need to print, so that the inspector isn't having to come out and enter all the data for the report, print up the report, because it's a HUD 50058 is what the report is called. And instead of going in and putting in the, excuse me, the information and having to do all that extra work, the pad now speaks to our software, and then we're able to print those out, and that's the report that speaks directly to the HUD programs as well. So our software, our accountant and our software also submit our annual and monthly reports to HUD by the due dates each month as well, or by each due date. One of them is due annually and the other ones are due monthly. And that determines what our funding level is. Our under the annual contributions contract, our funding is based on our leasing. So we have, so HUD goes back for the prior calendar year to determine what our funding will be, both administratively and for housing assistance payments. And then that's what they give us as income each month. Well, then they go through and they reconcile quarterly and adjust as needed based on our current lease up as well. So as our lease up increases, it's a win-win, because we get to administer as many vouchers as we possibly can and assist as many people as we possibly can. But as a result, our funding also goes up from HUD. So, so also under services, we have our phone charges, which also include 2 cell phones. We have 1 cell phone for me and 1 cell phone for the inspector while he's out in the field.
So the county provides those and it gets reimbursed?
Yes, we reimburse the county for everything. The county doesn't pay anything, any of this.
Even the employees. So
Correct.
she's technically a county employee, but
But her salary's reimbursed by HUD.
So what the county does is the, excuse me, I don't know why I'm so hoarse. I'm going to take a quick drink.
Why not? Why not?
So the county goes ahead and pays our payroll, and then they submit an invoice to us. And then I break down the invoice base and charge it to the appropriate grant. And then I send in the checks. So many times, we only use 2 different checking accounts. We use one for Hopwa and then one for our vouchers.
Where's
So-
the checking account located? They give you a contract bank in
Yes, we,
DC or something, or
no, we have Bank of America.
Bank of?
But HUD has approved it, and actually HUD's looking into, on the other slide, you'll see what we have in our reserves. But and HUD's looking into how they want us to invest our reserves as well, because it's over $1 million. And so HUD approves what type of accounts, but they do require that all of our accounts are interest-bearing accounts.
And that is not with the treasurer.
It's not.
It's one of our outside bank accounts.
Yes, and I upload the accounts to payroll or to finance every month, and so that's in addition to our fee accountant it's called Lindsay MRI Company is what our accounting and software company is, and so our accountant, in addition to reconciling our accounts every month, our accounts also go down to payroll. And then, of course, salaries are wages, ERE, and county overhead, which is just shy of $4,000 a month that we pay the county. It's $3,960 that we pay the county for overhead.
and that's for handling your payroll
Payroll.
and finance.
Yeah.
and HR issues.
Correct. Utilities,
IT.
those, the Lloyd, county attorney, those types of things. And we have 7 full-time employees in housing. As I mentioned before, the training covers conferences, training registration, travel, hotel, and per diem. And we follow the county rules for all of that, and is approved through the county before we book anything. And then our supplies are our office supplies, computer, and fleet. We currently have 2 cars that housing has. One of our vehicles is used probably 3 or 4 times a week, and the other one is used on an average of twice a week.
So as I understand it, all costs to the, that would have been incurred to the county are reimbursed to HUD,
No, they're all
or from HUD, I should have said.
yes. So I'm sorry, I got
That's okay.
sidetracked on that. Thank you for putting me back on track. Might not be the last time you have to do that. But yeah, after I received the invoice from HR or from payroll, then I split it up in the appropriate grant and send 2 checks down to finance for reimbursement. And I usually do that within the next month. Usually no more than 2 months goes by without reimbursement.
Okay, so everything gets reimbursed to the county,
Yeah.
plus the county gets, besides coming out even, the county is coming out 4,000 ahead, except for some services, the cost of some services, like you mentioned, county attorney, payroll, what other services?
Human resources,
HR.
We had to put that money in reserve.
in which we charge her an overhead. That's the overhead.
And that $4,000 doesn't go into our reserve. It is reimbursed to the county. So it's part of the invoice that the county bills us. So the invoices are broken down by,
We do make $4,000.
yes, literally.
Yeah.
48,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
That pays for some of emergency services. Going back to our previous question, sorry.
Well, she's been the best so far. She's the only one that actually brought money in.
No,
Yeah.
Linedecker,
Linedecker didn't bring money in.
are you kidding me?
No, he brings in
He brings in the whole
No, no,
property
no,
value.
no, 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 no. He's bringing, yeah, no, I'm talking about in a positive cash flow sense from their consumption cash flow. That's what I was getting at.
That's right. Any additional questions so far?
No?
Great.
Okay. So we have right under 1.5 in our reserve right now. And as I said, HUD is going to, they're reviewing where to put, we're going to put the majority of that and stay under 500,000 in our main account. And, but HUD is looking at what other types of accounts, interest-bearing accounts they want us to invest anything above that 500,000 into.
What would you expect that to be? Like CDs or something?
I,
I would think CDs.
Are you gonna go through Trawick?
it will
It'll
definitely,
be 4% rate of return if you go through.
you know, I actually meant to catch our work session the other day to kind of give HUD an idea of what she has come up with. So I need to go back and rewatch that.
It's very
work session.
conservative.
Is it?
Yes.
I think so many things are conservative today, but
Yeah, it's very conservative.
But she never loses.
She never loses money, yeah, so she got to give it to her.
that's right. 4% is 4%.
Yes.
It's
She has some
Except when inflation's 8%, then it's,
0.25 from the COVID ones, like just
Oh, yeah.
above zero.
yeah,
During the
Yeah,
COVID.
some of those were pretty bad.
they were.
it is what it is.
They were. I don't have anything else for my presentation, but I'll be happy to answer any questions or concerns.
You're an easy one.
You said that the day that I met you too, because
Yeah,
since we're completely grant funded.
yeah, you're completely grateful.
My goal
Well,
is that 3
after-
years from now, you're going to say the same thing.
Well, hopefully, if Doge doesn't get you,
Yeah.
all right? So,
Mhm.
yeah, so I mean, that's the,
Same thing with FEMA, with Mr. Deshawn, who was
yeah,
immediately prior.
yeah.
And we have our field office staff who are federal employees has already been cut down to 3. So we only have 3 in Phoenix right now.
How many were there before?
There were 6 to 7.
And you have
So-
7 employees.
Yes.
Okay.
And we still have 1 for Hopwa, so we actually have 4 overall, but we have 3 under the voucher program at our field office and 1 for Hopwa.
All right,
All
No
right.
more questions,
no
sir.
more questions. Well, that's it.
Well, thank you very much.
So wait, do I have a next meeting announcement? Yes, I do. Our next meeting is going to be April 22nd at 10 a.m. for the library district, the jail district, and our regular meeting. I missed one. Flood district, library district, flood district, jail district, and a regular supervisors meeting. 10 a.m. on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
All right, so with that, we're adjourned.